Okay, well now let's have. So if there is a let's roll back to a bladed weapon. The defense, in my humble opinion, Carl, you can disagree. Then we have a discussion. The defense against the bladed attack would be the same as striking. You just blocking neck and important organs that you definitely don't want to wrestle for the knife, because you're gonna get the tip of the knife and you're gonna slice up your hands. So the way I teach outside of the car defense is your defense exactly the same as the striking. You just try to disengage as fast as possible. In that case, probably even faster. But as far as playing some sort of kung fu with a knife, you're just gonna be the guy's gonna be like a sewing machine, just slicing you and dicing you. So what do you think?
Completely agree with that. Just you got to get out of there. You're going to sustain some type of wound or wounds depending how long you linger. The longer you try to disarm this way, maybe you do, or maybe you take a lot of stab wounds and you bleed out. So it's just get out of the whole situation. Similar idea. Protect your head. Definitely watch this part, but you still want to get out as fast as humanly possible.
Right. So it's going to be the same defense as the striking. You just protect the harmful organs and just escape the car as fast as possible. We're obviously not going to demonstrate that. I'm not going to be slicing Carl, but the defense is going to be exactly the same. So we now go to, we go from bad to worse, and now we go to horrific. Attack with a firearm. Unfortunately, there is enormous amount of snake oil videos on YouTube I watched when I trained cops and civilians. The deal with the firearm is, especially when it goes to a complicated Aikido style moves, when you're trying to wrestle the firearm from the hands of the attacker. We've done a whole bunch of different firearm, so to speak, fact checks with simulation rounds, which is, it's not a real round, it's a fake round. And I had a cops doing all the fancy Aikido, like, and they get shot every single time. So the least actual physical engagement against the guy with the firearm you have, it's going to be the most effective. So if I'm sitting here, I mean, first of all, unlike I'm absolutely crazy guy and I'm doing something like that, even that is, and this, by the way, it's not a real gun. It's a red gun that we use for law enforcement training. It's just a piece of rubber. I would never point a real gun at a person. Even here, the moment, if the reactive time is, for me, the moment his hands moved and I pull the trigger, it's gone. He needs to be, and there's a lot of theory that he can move the head forward or backwards and escape the. I mean, in reality, the moment he does that, that just goes there, or it goes backwards. It goes. I mean, it's once I start attaching this thing to his body or to his head, or even sitting from right here. Right here is actually the most devastating for him. There's not a single thing he can do before I will engage at least with multiple rounds. So when you get in this horrible situation, this is the time when you are, if you need to, you're using the most performance of your life to convince the guy not to shoot you. Give him everything he's got. We can talk about that circuit, because that's a de-escalation techniques that we train, but it's a whole different training altogether. Carl, what do you think?
Completely agree. I'm not going to try to wrestle a gun from you. I have no distance control. As soon as I slightly move in a non-compliant way, you're probably going to fill me up with bullet holes. So,
even if I initially didn't intend to do that, it's a normal action-reaction thing. Is any sign of aggression I take from you, I can't even do just accidental, because not a lot of, I mean, I'm a trained law enforcement professional. That's why my finger trigger is on the slide. The guy sitting here and keeping finger on the trigger, it takes about 4 pounds of reactive time.
Yep.
And boom, and it's done.
And it can honestly be even a bump you go over,
Yeah.
if you're familiar with the Tarantino movie. But either way, I don't want to play around with this game. You want to be compliant. If they're satisfied with just robbing you, fine, you can get more stuff. If they want to take your car, that's fine, you can get another car. There's also insurance. That's kind of where you want to go here. You don't want to make the situation, especially a lot of people have poor control over the gun. They often have their finger over the trigger and they're nervous. Last thing you want to do is try to frighten them or do anything that can be perceived as an aggressive movement or uncompliant for them.
Right. And think about it, the intentions. If this person's intent was to kill Carl, he would be dead immediately the moment I pull the gun out. Normally, that's not intent. In my 27 years in law enforcement, the robberies go bad when the guy start perceiving the act of aggression from the victim. Again, yes, there are some situations when the guy's targeting you, but in that case, if the guy's targeting you, now we're going into kidnapping situation. Okay, well, let's talk about that. If let's say Marina, and again, we're going with normality. So being a young lady, she's definitely a target. Let's say the guy goes for kidnapping and he's using a firearm as a threatening to. What would you suggest?
I would go along with it, but I would also be looking for time to exit the vehicle as fast as humanly possible, whether it's at a stoplight, hopefully you don't step out into traffic, or anywhere where you're not getting kidnapped into the middle of a field during a dark night. So I'd be compliant, but I would also be checking my rear view mirror, my side mirror, looking for opportunity and hopefully manner in which the person gets distracted by maybe a car coming too close. Oh my God, what's that? Is that the police over there? If their attention is drawn away, that's a very good opportunity to eject this and get out of the car as fast as humanly possible, calling for help.
Right. Another thing is, and again, this is something that unfortunately we cannot demonstrate because he's going to cripple me. If it's a moving vehicle, if he slams on the brakes and I'm sitting here without a seatbelt, I'm flying through the windshield. And that's always an option. You can even speed it up a little bit and slam on the brakes. And it doesn't matter if you're sitting in the back or if you're sitting in the front. I've done it with my detectives. At 3 miles an hour, we cracked the windshield with someone's head. So it's really hard to imitate and do it safely in training, but that's an option that you guys can consider. The vehicle can be a weapon too. If any speed above 15 miles an hour, that person is flying right out of that windshield. Well, thank you. That's kind of concludes our presentation. Carl, do you have anything?
No, I think that went pretty smooth.
Okay, so if the contact information is going to be linked below, so you guys, if you have any questions, if you need any additional trainings, or if you have additional questions, please contact us. Thank you.